Does somebody know what to do? Does anybody know what to do anymore? We've only been doing this for 3 years, and we haven't created the manual because I know HR doesn't like us. I know that HR person cringes every time I walk by their office. I offered to buy him a coffee. I offered to buy him a taco, a tequila. Not tequila. I can't say no. I didn't offer them tequila, but you know what I mean. A taquito, a burrito. I offer them Carlos's coffee. I offer them a cigar. They don't like me. But can we create the manual that says if someone's not here,
it's gonna go a whole lot better if you quit grabbing her butt.
That was not in the manual, so that means you are allowed to do that, isn't it? The manual. Those HR manuals only tell you what not to do. So that leads it to everything else is allowed. And I don't pinch girls' butts. I don't go around pinching butts. I'm not that
freaking
guy.
Button, Steve.
I found the button.
What's this shit on your lip up here, man?
Huh?
Yeah, what is that?
It's getting gray, damn it.
I've seen you eating powdered donuts before the show.
I was just gonna say, man.
No, he was hanging out. He was hanging out in the evidence room, is what it is.
Wrong evidence.
Well, good evening, everybody. We apologize for you hearing me vent.
Yeah, it's all because Steve wasn't here yet. There was 3 of us sitting here. Izzo was like, okay, we're going to start the show yet? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead and start the show. And he just sits back. Okay. And I'm like, I don't know how to push these
wait a
buttons.
minute. Coach, hold on, Coach. I said in the back door, I'll get things going. You got the comments.
It's comments like backdoor that get you sent to the HR office, man.
That's why they don't like me.
I heard comments. I was like, yeah, I got that.
Yeah, you got that. And I just said, just go into push the right-hand side. Push.
When you're the reason they add new pages to the HR manual, you have problems.
Yeah, I'm the reason for the safety brief.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that's the truth.
Had a lot of pages.
Well, let's start it off. After 5 minutes, the clicker up on the top left says we're 5 minutes and 30 seconds plus. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We welcome to everybody who's here on YouTube, on X Twitter. I'm not sure if we're on Twitch tonight.
We're not on Twitch.
Hello?
Nope.
We're not on Twitch tonight. But for everybody else,
that button.
Hello, get that button next week.
Maybe.
Well, it shows we are. There's 3 people watching over on X.
On X, yes, not on Twitch.
Oh, you Twitch. Oh, yeah. Whatever. Both of them give me a Twitch.
So, guys, this is going to be an interesting show because it's been an interesting week, I think, for everybody, whether you went to Hamvention or not. But I think
I did and didn't all at the same time.
You tried to leave your wife there.
I saw what she was buying. I saw what she was buying. I think he wanted to leave her there. No, that would never. That's not going to happen. She may leave him, but he ain't going to leave her.
I heard Renee bought a Flex. That's what I heard.
Oh,
Renee?
See,
I'm just joking. I'm joking. That's just a joke. I don't want to get burnout heart attack. Okay.
So the ATOS is for the truck with the Flex is going in. Yeah.
Exactly.
A mobile Flex.
Listen, you take some of those Gucci handbags.
Oh,
that's a flex. I think that's a flex. If you take some of those and those other expensive, alligator skin, carrying bags. But, I hope everybody had a good week. Go ahead,
there's a comment that needs to be highlighted by my fellow mafioso, stating that Joe Brett kicked out of his coverage. I told him that the other day also.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, I think he's been told that a few times at Huntsville.
Listen, man, as a fella who's also way out of his class, right? I'm happy for you. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So, talking to you didn't show me, but you did show her a picture of your wife, and she was agreeing too. She's like, "Oh yeah,
yeah, dude."
Yeah,
I'm telling you. She was like, "Do you have a picture of her?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Here, and I'm pulling it up. She goes, "She's real pretty," and I'm like, "I know, I know."
What's she doing with you?
Exactly. It's the Puerto Rican charm, man.
Oh,
It's how I roll.
We'll leave it at that.
I thought it was the beer. I thought it was.
It's how I roll my R's, man. I sound like Ricardo Montalban.
It's definitely.
I was going to say Desi Arnaz, but I just dated myself.
Desi's Cuban. Ricardo's Puerto Rican, so you know.
Just an island skipper. Go to the east.
You know.
All those Caribbean islands. Well, seriously, welcome to our show, everybody. We appreciate everybody's support. As Shane would say, I guess the guys in the green who you see are supporting us. Buy us a coffee. We want to keep the giveaways going. We're a little over 3 years into this fun stuff due to the support of everybody. You just can't blame it on me. This is one thing that the HR department cannot blame on me. This is everybody, and we're all in this together like a band of brothers and sisters. So guess what? That's okay.
No, we're still going to blame it on you, Don.
That's what everybody does. Everybody does. I always get the short stick. I don't know why, but it is what it is. If you haven't, if you're looking at me and you say Izzo looks weird, yeah, you're absolutely right. It is. Oh, FVP lad, my buddy Jim, Big Jim. Hey guys, they were amazing last night. They were multitasking. These guys really should have been telephone operators from the old days, 911 dispatchers for today. Jim and was it Doc Brady and T.O. last night talking about multitasking. They were doing M17 stuff, talking about Hamvention, doing this, doing that. I thought we were going to end up with a nice cake at the end of the night. The way they were making shit, they were all being sincere and real, and it was a fun show to watch. Go watch their shows if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I mean it. Go watch those Nugget shows on Team Replay. The guys got it down. And I watched some of their live show on Saturday. That was fun. I caught maybe about 45 minutes of them doing live, and that was a fun thing. So, what else? Everybody, it looks like a good portion of the world, ham radio world, went to Hamvention. Some others didn't want to, whatever. I'm interested. I'm always interested in hearing what everybody felt, what they liked, what they didn't care for, and I don't mean that in a bad way because we all have different perceptions when we go there. Joe, you said it in the past, and I think I would believe for a guy like me who hasn't been there but loves our hobby. I love our hobby. You know that. Is it still sensory overload, Joe?
Dude. I don't know how many times in one day I explained to people that my ADHD brain walking through could not think fast enough of what I could do with this or that. You know, it's like every little thing I saw, I was trying to process what could happen to it back at home. Right.
Did you make a video?
Yeah. I mean, there's some videos and I'll put them together sometime, but yeah, it was crazy. Joe, I was exhausted.
Joe, did you find a lot of the vendors? We kind of talked about this, I think last week or maybe on Tank's show, right before the week before. We all go with X amount of cash in our pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But do you find more and more vendors are taking Venmo, doing Square, taking your card?
Absolutely.
And it makes it easier for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, even for the flea market guys, you know, it's too easy. It's too easy to take.
I prefer cash, but if you're looking to buy from me, I'll take payment any way I can.
And I don't mind if you want to charge me extra $1.39.
And I can vouch for that because I paid him through digital payment.
See, you know.
So either way, they're making it easier for the guy to walk away. No, you don't have to walk away and come back. Just buy it now. Buy it now. I'll even hold it for you if you want. I'm sure the bigger guys will possibly do that. I'm not sure if they have like what Walt Disney does and a few other big places. You buy it and they get shipped to your room, or you can ship it to your house. I don't think Hamvention's at that stage of shipping it to your house yet, but
oh yeah, they
HRO do that.
they are there already.
HRO, for sure.
And that's the big boys.
Big boys, yeah.
Yeah, the
The
big
big
boys.
boys are at that.
Oh yeah, Gigaparts, HRO, DX Engineering. I know them three will because I talked to all three of them, right?
Kudos to those guys who want to put it in our hands as fast as they're taking our money. I like that.
There's a complaint to that though.
What's that?
I'm concerned that the big guys are bringing less stock and offering to ship it to you instead of letting you buy it right there on the spot and take it home. And I get both sides of that logistically, right?
For you, logistically, well, hold on.
And for them.
You logistically.
No, for them. So think about
so they don't want. Go ahead.
Cereal boxes, right? They went from this big to this big, right? Well, they could ship more at one time. So I get a lot of these vendors are having to go a long ways to get there. All that fuel and weight.
As well as you're bringing the pallet in, shrink wrap it over here, ship it over here. We got to get the pallet. We got to undo it. We got to make our display look nice. And instead of bringing in hundreds, they only have to bring in a few, and then you're going to get the one. But think of it the other way around, though. Do you want to carry that box with you? Do you want to carry that box with you?
I'm going back to the truck and coming back. Or I got a backpack on. Yes, absolutely.
So, like, I'll have a video about this later, but Mike and NYO went on a shopping spree. He had to buy a bunch of stuff, and he wanted a bunch of stuff now because he wanted to be able to leave the show and go do POTA with it right away, right? Whereas, you know, if it had been me, I'm like, I have my stuff for POTA already. Send ship. If you're going to ship it to my house for free, ship it to my house. One less thing for me to carry. So both of those things are equal. And you know, I think what they did is they only brought in the stock that they think they could move, the stuff that they know that
makes
sells
sense.
quick.
That makes sense,
right? Because, like Joe Brett said, it's an awful lot of stuff to be bringing over, and there's a lot of weight and a lot of fuel. You know, if you don't sell it, you have to pack it back up and take it back. That's double the fuel, right?
Right.
And that's it caused me to live the gym episode of last year. There was a lot of bleeps.
With that 10 Tech? You mean the 10 Tech episode?
No, when he was trying to find his FTM 500. I had the same damn problem.
Did you find one?
Well, I did. So we come in Saturday.
There's a button here somewhere. Go ahead.
I've already talked to Gigaparts. They sold out day one. HRO sold out of theirs day one. And then I didn't think about DX Engineering. I talked to several other people, and my opinion seemed to be correct that traditionally they don't bring stock or a lot of it. They're mostly display of look at all what we can offer you. And they always have beautiful displays, but traditionally you're not really buying on the spot from them. Well, Saturday I walked in, and then first booth I walked through was DX Engineering. And I see this big booth on the side where people are buying stuff, and it's there. And this one guy had 2 FTM 500s sitting on the table. I said, holy crap, they got them. And I cut line and went to the cashier. And I said, hey, you got any more of them FT 500s?
He did the Dave Chappelle look. Y'all got any more of it? 500s.
You got any more of those?
I'm thinking of the Seinfeld episode where he wanted the bread and he was stealing it from the old lady. Yeah. Were you going to knock over a little old man or a little old lady for that 500?
Dude, run over a rascal. Absolutely.
Yes. People became objects in my way at that time, not people. So
like the Black Friday day after Thanksgiving sale Christmas.
Yeah.
Young Brett, I would never think you would do that.
Don't get in my way, dude. When I know everybody's out and I want that son of a gun and have it operating on the way home, I'm gonna go try to get mine. So the lady looks it up. She turns the screen around. She says, "This is just to confirm. This is what you're talking about, right?" Because I was really bad about saying the FT 500, and people were thinking the FT5, and I'm like, no, the mobile. So I was like, yes, that's it. She goes, we have 2 left. I said, if you can put one in my hands, I'll put cash in yours. And she said, all right. I gave her the cash. She typed it up. She said, I'll be right back. Then I seen her walking back and forth behind the curtains.
Oh.
I looked at Noel and said, they ain't got this damn thing.
Hold your breath. Hold your breath, Noel. Hold my hand. Hold my hand, baby.
Finally, she comes back out from the curtain. She says, well, what happened is we've sold them already. And I'm like, well, what happened is you already got my cash. And she's like, well, what's happening is we've already got a truck on the road en route now with more stock and FTM 500s. So bring your receipt back in the morning, show it to them, and you can pick up your radio. I said, what time do you get here? You know, I was going to try to get there a little bit earlier than the doors open because I planned on leaving early in the morning. She said, oh, we get here about 8:15, 8:30. I'm like, well, that's not really any earlier, right? So take my time, eat some breakfast with Vern and Renee. We get there like 15 after 9, go straight to the counter, give them my receipt. All right, great, we'll get it for you. Go back to the curtain. It's taking a little bit.
This is like the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. I see him walking back and forth. And the lady comes out. It's a different lady this time. She comes back out from the curtain and says, that's the one that we had to put on the truck especially for you. If you would, just go to the end of the counter and we'll bring it out to you in just a moment. Okay. Yeah. You didn't put it on the truck especially for me because when I purchased it, that lady said the truck was already on the road. Right? So
they're gonna pull it out of someone's vehicle.
Then they have this little group chat. Like they're at the other end of the table.
Here we go.
One woman's got my receipt in her hand, just flying in the air, like, what the heck? You know, it's like they was having a real
What are we
serious
gonna
discussion.
do? What are we gonna do?
And look, I wish I'd have got this lady's name with DX Engineering. Because when she came up to me, I know she could see the frustration and probably the pissed off vibes in my face. And she probably really was not looking forward to this conversation. I could see her lips kind of quiver. And it was a younger lady, you know, nice as could be. And she says, sir, I'm sorry, but all they brought on the truck was FTM 300s. So if you would rather have an 300, we can give you one of those. And I said, no, there's a reason I paid $200 more or whatever it is for the 500. Because it's got the speaker in the head and I can get rid of my external speaker. And that's what I want. I said,
what I want. Yeah.
She said, well, we can either ship it to your house or offer you a refund. And I looked at her and smiled. I said, you know, because I could see she was so stressed out right now.
Did you say bless your heart?
No, no. But
bless your heart, sweetheart. Bless your heart.
I appreciate you taking your time to talk to me.
My wife then walked away. Like I looked over my shoulder and she's at the other end of the booth and she says, I'll be over here. She didn't want to see what was going to happen, right?
She didn't want to be a witness.
She said, I'm not watching. I'll be over here. So I just looked at the lady and I said, ma'am, it said, if I just got really pissed off, like I kind of want to be, and told you to give my money back, then by the time I got home to reorder it, the coupons would expire and I'll have to pay even more and still have to wait for it to come in the mail. So absolutely, ma'am, you may mail it to my house. That'll be just fine. And the sigh of relief, it was like she took 120-pound dumbbells off her shoulders or something. She's like, she's like, we'll knock some more of the price off, right? You know, for the inconvenience and everything. And I'm like, okay.
Wow,
and
that's cool.
She goes typing in they had to cancel that order to show the new order for it to ship from the warehouse. And
so you got the employee discount. You got the employee discount.
Yeah. I said, so one thing about knocking some more of the price off, I paid with cash. So like, you're going to give me some cash back or you're probably going to put it in store credit, aren't you? And she looked at me, kind of didn't want to say it. She said, yeah, it'd be a gift card. I said, okay, that's fine. I'll either use it or give it away, whatever. But so anyway, then we went on about our day.
So cool heads prevail.
Yeah.
Your order should be coming probably by Friday, right?
That's when it's scheduled.
Okay. Patience is a virtue. How many analogies can we use here?
Yeah, I mean, I told her the straight up truth, right? If I got mad and upset like she was, I could tell she was waiting for me to be. I'd have been up the creek, right? The coupons expired Monday morning. I would have had to pay $100 more and still wait.
So I have the silver lining for you, Joe.
I love silver linings.
Here's silver lining. The first 3 days of this week are supposed to be extra hot all over the U.S.
Right.
Thursday through Sunday are supposed to be quite a bit cooler. That means you get to install it in a cooler vehicle, man.
There you go. And I got even extra silver lining there, Carlos.
There you go.
Because I immediately thought, you know what? I'm being looked after, right? Because I know what was going to happen. I already knew it, but I was still going to do it. I'm going to get the radio, and it's being installed before we leave Dayton or Xenia. The only problem is, at the second time, I walked all the way back to the boneyard to the guy that said, I can make you any length of Ethernet cable you need. I went back to see him to go ahead and get my 15 feet or whatever I thought I may need to install it up at the top of my window,
right.
the remote head.
Right.
He's nowhere to be found. Yeah, all his stuff's there, even his cell phone. I could have took all his stuff. I don't know where he was at. I stood there for like 5 minutes. So that means I was going to have to go by a Walmart or a Home Depot or something, right? And look for Ethernet cables that may or may not work. And
they'll work.
Well, yeah, I had a discussion with somebody saying just like if I could take the remote head in with me, and it's like a package where the wire's open, it's not in plastic, to test it first, because they come across some that had the connectors was just a little too wide for some reason.
Okay.
I don't. Who knows? I mean, it shouldn't be. It's the standard, but it could be. But anyway, so what that domino effect would have been is me installing it, which wouldn't have took a whole lot of time, but then running the Ethernet cable and tucking it in behind everything, and, stopping at the store, would have put me at least, maybe an hour,
3
or so, further back on getting home. Because this was the day, Sunday, we had to leave as early as possible because it's a 10-hour drive back home, and we really wanted to get back home before dark so we could unload laundry and just chill for a little bit because we had to go to work the next day. So, right. 2 silver linings.
There you go.
It's all about approach, man.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me some guy, Bobby, bought one, part of there, installed it, a radio that you wanted. Now she's got to go back and tell this guy, uninstall your radio, put it back into the box because I just sold it. And because I've heard of stuff like
Jim.
that. Not saying it happens at Hamvention, but I've heard of stuff like that. And that's a whole. But you see the logistic nightmare of we have a truck coming and nobody is keeping a record of what's on the truck and the timing of the invoice. You would think everything should go by the times of the invoice.
Yeah.
So if we have 100 of these on the truck, the first 100 that we sell are getting them. And then the notice has to go from here on in, we're shipping to your home. Just tell us up front, right? But obviously it's not happening for whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
And
I'm not even mad at any of them. I mean, the girl that told me that there was some more on the truck, that may have just been her understanding. She knew there was some Yezus, FTMs, so. Well,
she was told a truck is coming. In front of her, she probably does not have the way bill of what is coming in. That's not, So and I get it, but at the end of the day, though, you still got what you wanted, and that's
I do.
The silver lining.
Nothing against DX. I do want to say that their customer service and everything in the end was great. But personally, I do wish if I knew that I was going to have to get it shipped, I would have went back over to Gigaparts because it would have been here today for me, right? They would have shipped it on Monday. 2 hours down the road, it'd have been here today. if I would known. But I had already paid them. I didn't want to, whatever. The order's already there.
Would you have gotten us the same deal at Giga?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't ask
Because-
Giga what their pricing was. Dude, all about the same.
Well, DX Engineering was running an offer where if you spend more than $500, they're knocking 50 off it no matter what.
$475.
Oh well, then
Dang.
never mind.
And I could have said, wait a minute, $25 gift card that qualifies me, right?
I think it does. Honestly, I think it does.
Buy the $25.
I got to call them back up. Say, wait a minute.
Right,
Hey.
buy a $25 gift card.
Yeah, because my
I'll
invoice
take a
that they sent
t-shirt.
me come out to be like $516 or $526 or
No,
something.
it's got
But
to be $500 before tax.
Before tax, yeah.
everything was before tax. There wasn't no tax on my invoice.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, I know. But
DX
spend
is
an
based in
extra
Ohio. They're
$25.
definitely going to charge a sales tax in Ohio.
Yeah, but let's face it. In today's world, you could easily buy something for $25 or more. Easy. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer.
you could, but so Miss Renee, lovely Renee, wanted an ATOS antenna. And the price came down to just a little bit under what if you, like this situation, you spend a little bit more, you got more off. And Vern went looking for something, but he couldn't find anything that they needed, and he didn't want to just spend money on something they absolutely didn't need. So they just paid whatever.
I ended up buying this thing. If I had known that at the time, I would have just said, "Buy this for me, and I'll give you the money cash." And then you get the big discount.
There you go.
But-
There you go. Man, yeah. So before we get off the FTM 500, and you were talking about the boneyard and stuff. So we got there like Friday at 3:00 in the afternoon, so that gave 2 hours before it was closed, right? And that's when I started my first mad dash of trying to find the radio. Well, after Giga and HRO told me sorry, I went to Meshtastic. A lot of Meshtastic nodes out there.
Yes.
And
I wonder why.
I went to the general channel or maybe even the YouTube channel that we had for folks coming up. Anyway, I posted about it, and sure enough, a guy replied back, not sure who he was, but he said, "Hey, I seen one sitting at the front of the boneyard." And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm standing at the front of the boneyard. Well, by this time, everybody's starting to pack their stuff up and cover it up. We're walking out to the cars to leave. And this guy's got this big, long table, and he's covered most of it up with semi-clear plastic. And I can see a lot of radios under that plastic. And I said, this is probably the guy. So I walk up to him, and I said, excuse me, sir. Did you happen to be the one that had a FTM 500 for sale today? He said, yep. Sold it earlier today, $300. So he said, I never used it. It was brand new. He said, I had a FTM 300 already, and I just never got around to really using the 500. So I sold it. I was like, $300? God, I'd have been doing cartwheels if I'd have got that thing.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was
I would have paid. I would have paid
I would've paid
$200
to see the cartwheels.
Yeah, I'll pay you $200 for that.
I would have gave him an extra 100 just for being somebody that had it and could put it in my hands.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Have we become
something.
desperate? Have we become so used to Amazon Prime and everything else? So now when we go to places like that, the Huntsvilles of the world, and all these other, are we expecting, do you think, psychologically, that same type of
The instant gratification.
See,
Yes.
okay, look, I haven't been going to Hamfest for very long, but my understanding is that they've always carried stock because that was the way to get a deal.
Yeah.
So I don't think this has anything to do with Amazon and everything to do with this is the way it's always been, and we expect not only the stock but also to get a deal because you brought big quantities out here with the intent of selling it all, right? If you have to pack it to take it back home, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why you go to the boneyard on Sunday at like 1 when they're closing and everybody's starting to wrap up. You go, oh, that's snag a deal there.
What's the boneyard for you? Oh, wait, hang on. Eric, our buddy up north, one of those crazy guys up north in northern New England's giving us $9.99. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. You know, and I'm watching some of the chats as well as, you know, Joe Brett and Crocs doing cartwheels. That could be a feature coming up here for the summer.
Have to put the 4-wheel drive strap on.
Yeah, we'll do whatever it takes.
What did you say? What did I hear you say?
We'll have to put that 4-wheel drive. Shut up, Carlos.
I'm gonna get a clip. I'm gonna make a clip of that, man. That is
30. It only took 33 minutes for Carlos.
Carlos, that's gonna be your.
I lost the bet. I thought it was going to happen at the 18-minute mark. 12 minutes. No, what I'm saying is have we got used to the whole paradigm? Is paradigm the right word? We have been newly trained by these retailers outside of ham radio. Outside of the Hamventions of the world. When you want something, you go on their website, you call them up, you either order on the web or you call customer service, and it's at your house in 2 to 5, 4 days, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old days, Carlos, you're absolutely right. I remember the Hamfests here, and I can only speak to the Hamfest that I've been here in Connecticut and the one in Massachusetts that I went to last year. You are right. There is some expectation that the inventory is going to be there. I don't know if they can really match, and Joe brought it up before, the logistics of bringing all. How do you make everybody happy? And we know, but Molson pointed it out, I think, a year or two ago. I give Molson props. I want to go to the Hamfest for the great deal. Don't put the deal out 3 days ahead of time. Don't do that. I remember Molson pointing that out. I'm like, oh my God, he's right. Why are they doing that? Yeah. Why are they doing that?
So they can preload this. So they can preload their sale numbers, right? It's the same reason you can pre-buy a book before it's published. It's so that on the day that the book publishes, it shoots to the number one on the list, and then that generates even more traffic, right? Mm-hmm. So it's so that you can preload and your order numbers and go, well, okay, I sold 40 of them online. That's 40 less that I have to carry to the show. Well, that's 40 that I can take to the show that are not sold that I can offer to the general public, and I still made the sale, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, but there is a percentage, and I don't know whether it's a small percentage, a medium, or a large. They want to go to the show. They want to go to the show. Everything that goes along with it. And I'm wondering now if some of these conventions, the larger ones, or probably maybe even the smaller ones, I guess we're not in the shoes of that vendor of what it takes to calculate to the logistic. Am I right, Steve?
Well, I'm wondering if they're releasing the deals early so that they, people know how much extra money to bring for that deal. Yeah. For me, I'd rather the emails drop, when the show opens. So those that can't make the show that still want the deal can go online and order it.
I just remember
about what the lady in the room next to me said. Well, why aren't you there?
Because
I just remember buying my shit.
She told me I couldn't go.
I just remember buying my stuff and then having to run back to my truck because I didn't want to carry it. Mm-hmm. Even when I had it was sort of like, is that my fault for being a compulsive buyer?
Well, Hamvention, you get one of the beach carts to drag behind you.
There was a lot of wagons. Yeah.
All the stuff. Is that what they do?
No, man, you get it all wrong. What you do is you get yourself a Sherpa. I had a Sherpa on Sunday, and it was fantastic.
A Sharpie?
Is that a girlfriend?
What?
No. Carlos, is that a fancy name for a girlfriend to carry your stuff?
Not a girlfriend, but at least a buddy.
Transition.
Buddy. So Mike and I were in the boneyard, And there were a couple of things I found that I wanted, and I'm like, my hands were full, and he's got a backpack on. I don't have a backpack at all because I just didn't expect to be buying anything. Hey, buddy, can you throw that in your bag? He was carrying it all over the flea market for me. It was great.
Which mic was that?
NYO.
Anyway,
Would you pay $20?
I gave him a pound of coffee. I gave him Jim's pound of coffee.
I saw that. That was. Let me tell you something. I thought that was something illegal for a minute there. I'm like, oh, that was a brick of coffee, huh?
That coffee should be illegal. It's that good.
I gotta tell you, I got a great idea from my neighbor. I'm gonna start selling my coffee in 1.1 pound packages. See, the cop turned around.
Look at Joe Brett. Joe Brett, I have to tell you, that new camera filter doesn't hide anything. You can't even try. That was perfect. I'm gonna go back on the replay and take some pictures. I gotta do a snip of that. That goes for
You
the
say what?
guys. Say what?
1.1 pounds.
Hey, whatever makes the logistics better, buddy.
Did you guys feel everything was being reasonable? Listen, our stuff isn't cheap. You're in this hobby for a reason. I understand you could do things with a coat hanger and speaker wire. I get that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you want something a little bit more. You want the poly-self wire. You want some nice feed line. I get you want the nice rate. But overall, do you think quality to dollars, do you think everything was within
Not everything, but certainly there. I mean, here's the thing. Anything is worth what anyone else is willing to pay you for it, right? If I say that my house is worth $1 million and no one is willing to pay me $1 million for it, then my house is not worth $1 million, despite what I think, right? However, if I say my house is worth $1 million and I have a line out the door going, I want to buy it, then this house is worth $1 million. And there was a lot of stuff being sold. So at the very least, there was a good chunk of stuff that was priced well enough that people were willing to buy it. There were tables that I saw on Friday. We had a downpour of rain on Friday morning. There were tables that I saw that had a bunch of stuff when the rain let up. That by the time how the flea market has a lot of rows in it. What I was doing is I was just going down one row and coming back down another. There were a couple of things that caught my eye, and by the time I got back, half the table was gone. So there's stuff moving, right? There was some stuff in there that I'm like, I wouldn't take it for free. Like, I'm going to make some people mad, but let me tell you, the Motorola radios are awesome, right? If you have the software for them. Guess what? I don't have the software for them, and I don't feel like pirating it. So I'm not going to buy a Motorola radio, despite how good it could possibly be. It could be the best thing on the planet.
I know a guy.
But if I can't get a hold of the software, then what am I going to do with it? You said it's a paperweight? That's an expensive paperweight, right? So I'm not going to buy one. Paperweight. Right? I'm not going to buy one. Now, if Motorola ever gets off their high horse and makes the software available for us to use,
not going to happen.
Exactly, not going to happen. But if they ever did, I would definitely buy them because they are bricks, man. They are. You can throw that. You can commit a murder with them, wipe it off, and go back to using it.
I'm waiting for Joe Brett's face to look at you.
You had to use that analogy. I mean,
yeah, of all the analogies, come on, Carlos.
I use that one specifically because you're here. Because who carries Motorola radios mostly? Cops, firefighters, and EMS.
We've seen plenty of motos and videos.
I can't wait to see motos. I can't wait to see Baofengs being used by the cops.
I have Explorers.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
The Explorers, but they put them on. They put them on one of their TAC channels. Low simplex. And there's hardly any money. Listen, this is not about this. This show is not about that. But anyway, I have seen them, and I kind of laughed. I had the chuckle. I couldn't get my camera out fast enough to get the picture of, our future using a Baofeng. Our future law enforcement officer using it. But whatever.
I think it was KI6QFY, if I remember the right call. He's a big Motorola fan, and if he's watching, he's going to go, he did what? We started walking. We met up somewhere in the flea market, and I said, "Hey, man, see,
there he is.
See, Shane knows, man." So we were walking, and I said, "Hey, man, there's a couple of Motorola's over here, and a couple of because I know he's a Motorola guy, right?"
Oh,
and he's like, "Man, I don't need any more radios. I don't need more radios." Guess what? I know he left with at least 3 more.
Carlos,
Yeah,
I will tell you,
evidently.
and Steve,
just out the boy.
and Steve knows this. Okay, I am a Motorola guy. I like it for the DMR because here in Connecticut we have 2 very good separate. Actually, there's like 3, but anyway, we have some very good DMR systems for ham radio in the state of Connecticut. Excellent networks, and I have found Motorola developed this thing called Turbo for themselves. The hams took it and made it for themselves. But I have found the audio quality of using a Motorola radio on DMR. It's what it is. I'm not using, again, you guys have heard me say this, I'm not using the butter knife for the screwdriver. I'm using a screwdriver for the use of what it's intended for. And the audio sounds incredible. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It is what it is. Other guys bring in other radios, and there's always an issue. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's an end user, if they're doing something in their software that they do know about, they don't know about. I don't know. But I will tell you, DMR radios, Motorola DMR radios are 100% what I would call compliance audio-wise with the system. You don't have an issue with it.
Oh, they're rock solid, dude. Like I said, I think they make a fantastic radio. I just can't buy one because I can't program it, and that just is useless to me then, right? And then, you got to go down that rabbit hole, and, and I just don't feel like doing it.
But if you asked me if I wanted a radio that did not require DMR turbo, would I buy a Motorola? No. I feel there are the other brands out there. The traditional ham band radios are fine. I have been introduced here through YouTube from a lot of you guys here and in the chat and elsewhere of the TID radios and all these other radio brands I've never even heard of, and maybe they meet or exceed your needs. I don't know. I've never used them. So it's like, do you really need to have something exclusive for someone that you're going to not really need the exclusivity of and for what it's intended for? I don't know. To each his own. To each his own.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Tortoise Overland says, he's got everything. He can hook it up. And I'm like, because
right. I have the software. I am authorized to have the software so I can do certain things that I need to do. Mm-hmm. And we'll just, it is what it is. I'm certified for it. Okay. I got lucky, but I also had to apply myself and I had to learn it and this and that. Mm-hmm. And guess what? In today's world, I don't care whether anytime you're going to buy a radio, something for VHF, UHF, you're going to be doing probably some programming. Very, very few people are doing, 145, 520, V/M, hold it down, wait for it to 1, change. I remember those days. I'm not doing that stuff ever again. RT system software. I love you. RT systems. I love programming. I never used a chirp, but guys love the chirp too. I like what the availability now of using software now to program the radios. Ooh,
Carlos, you ain't gonna ask him. He likes the what?
I'm sorry. I was actually reading a comment from someone. I got a message. I got a message on Discord saying, "Hey, man, I got the Motorola's. You wanna, So I'm reading, man. I'm like, hey, he knows who he is. He's got my attention."
Somebody that's in the chat.
I'm not going to disclose.
They've just bought a few Motorola's.
Yeah, really. You know, when you started talking about Shane and his radio finds, I remember specifically him leaning in a little further and saying, "And I met this guy in the boneyard that can do." And that's all I'm going to say. But he was really excited about
it. He was in Huntsville last year, and the moto stuff he found there, he was beside
the thing
himself.
is, those radios were really well built. The idiosyncrasies of the software and the lockouts on them aside, they're good radios. And T.O. put it in my brain, and I'm thinking about it. Buying a pair that are matched up with the same programming, even if I can't touch them, so that I can do parachute mode for the kids, where the lids can't get on it.
Ooh.
Good luck, you know. It's either going to be that or a P21 or M21 or whatever, you know.
P25?
That P25, what, you know.
Or
yeah, you know what I
M25.
mean.
Yeah.
Ed's going to kill me for saying P21.
Look, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I see somebody in the chat's asking if there's any public domain or free Motorola software. There was a place with a Russian domain.
I remember. Yeah.
If you haven't been there in a while, don't go back.
Don't go back.
It is no longer a radio software webpage. Don't go. All right. Just say it.
Maybe they do want to go there, you know.
That's your public safety
I
announcement
think
for
it's
today
all
from
right.
Uncle Joe.
Is it onlyhams.ru?
It ain't only nothing.
Yeah. It's more
I'm
than
just saying,
it's more than a hams only.
If you go there looking for software and you still click anywhere on the screen, it's your fault, and I told you not to do it. That's all I got to say.
Listen to Uncle Joe. You youngins out there, you listen to Uncle Joe here tonight.
No, Chris, I'm not incriminating myself. I hit the back button and closed the browser. And then I warned the others that I was speaking to about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did you guys think of hey, listen, the food. You got to eat.
Let me
Was
tell
the
you.
food,
The pork chop,
the
man.
vendors,
It's always the pork chop. I mean, ask Jim.
I'm going to tell you, I didn't eat nothing from there. The only thing I got in the little common area was the lemonade. I said, I wonder
that's criminal.
which one of these are selling that pork chop sandwich.
Just look for the
You
sign.
know how these darn YouTubers announce a product and it's sold out on the page? Well, guess what happened to the pork chop stand?
no.
The freaking
Sold out.
line to get to the pork chops was as long as it was to get into the freaking show. I don't even
It's
know.
always that way, though.
The people standing
And you
outside the
would've
fence to
figured-
get in the show wasn't waiting on the pork chop instead of getting to
And
the
you-
show.
And you would have figured those are the same guys who want that Yaesu 500. They're waiting in line for a pork chop sandwich. You would have had better odds of getting your radio than a pork chop. You would have better. You see what I'm saying? The odds would have been in your favor. They're all in line looking for food for a pork chop sandwich. You
The pork chop sandwich is better than I
was
expected.
the
I'll tell you
frozen
that.
lemonade good though, Joe? Was that frozen lemonade? Because I saw Mike's video on that. And
All right. Anything hydrating was good. Okay.
okay,
Yes, the lemonade was wonderful, but in a restaurant sit down casual talking setting, I don't know if it was worth the crap or not. But when I was dehydrated, couldn't read product labels because my vision wouldn't focus anymore, and I walked the
you had low
boneyard
blood
twice.
sugar. You had low blood sugar. Absolutely. The heat. Yeah.
Yeah, but Noelle actually, we went inside after I walked the boneyard twice, so I guess she did too, because that's another story. She was looking for me, but anyway, we go back into the buildings and I'm at, I don't know, the Icon booth or Gigapart. I was at the Gigaparts booth, trying to look at their a Teletron line, and I'm like this close, trying to read freaking labels. She said, "You got your contacts in, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." I can't see shit. She's like, "You got out there and got too hot." And I was like, "Yeah."
Mm-hmm.
I come back from a lemonade and you wasn't there. But it was my fault. It was
Mike's saying it wasn't sour enough. Mike says it wasn't sour enough. Now, I find that interesting because usually those stands have got it right on. Usually those places are
The Vodka Hill.
very consistent.
Try to remember who ordered the pizza. Somebody in the group had the pizza, and it was Steve. And it was mediocre at best. And I told him that ahead of time. I was like, look, it's fairground pizza. It's not going to be because, was it Hayden raved about it last year. I'm like, okay. And he ate it. And
Hayden's not from this.
I will say,
He's not from New England. You need to come to Connecticut, to New Haven, or New York City for the.
I want to go to.
You want to say Chicago? I don't care. Come on, Hayden, I love you.
I want to go to Connecticut just to eat some pizza. I'll tell you that. There's
absolutely, people do that.
The pizza at Orlando was pretty good, though. They had an actual stone fire oven.
There you go.
The pizza at Dayton is the sign says freshly made dough every day. I'm thinking, I believe it. Sure, I believe you.
It's not delivery; it's DiGiorno.
I honestly, DiGiorno would have been better, guarantee it. And I didn't.
So what did they have? So seriously, what was down the food row? Like, what were your options?
Let me tell you, the pizza, right? The pork chop. The pork chop stand also had sausages and steaks, I think. No, tenderloins. For me, at that show, the ticket is, I'm not telling you because I don't want the line to be crazy.
The bourbon chicken.
Oh, shut up, Steve. Shut up, Steve. The bourbon chicken is really good.
Nailed it.
It's bourbon chicken with rice and beans. And, yes, there are stereotypes for a reason. And Puerto Ricans love their rice and beans and chicken, man. But that or pork, life is good.
Yeah.
See, I'm picturing, Carlos, because Hamvention, Orlando, you guys could tell me about Huntsville and maybe some of the other, we'll call them maybe the big five, you're drawing in a lot of different people who like some traditional food, but maybe there's somewhere where they want to try something different. So I'm thinking variety has to be the key here, right? Or is it not a Huntsville?
Not a Huntsville. That's just indoor food, and it's from the convention center, and it's like,
right. Okay.
But,
Jim, thanks for the super chat.
You know what? The other thing that Dayton has, they have a barbecue guy. That barbecue guy, the guy with a barbecue stand,
Ooh.
that guy knocks it out of the park. The problem is the line is always long. No matter how you could get there at 8:00 in the morning with the vendors and make a beeline for it. And there's already a line. The vendors are already lined up trying to get their lunch set up. I'm not joking. That guy sells out every year.
Means he knows how to make a good queue.
He does. He has a good barbecue stand. Is it the best I've had? No. But it is really good.
Did you guys see a lot of the Bob Heil lanyards around?
Yeah.
Good. Good.
A lot of those
That's
were around.
Good.
The Heil booth had them in purple, and then ICOM had the purple ribbons for, if you didn't grab one from Heil or whatnot. It's nice that, Bob's going to be remembered for decades, right? This guy's name is going to live on for a long time. And if you ever had an opportunity to talk to him, count yourself lucky. The guy was superb. When I started doing what I'm doing, somebody said, you need a Heil headset. And I was like, I don't want to pay that kind of money. And, it's like, fine. I called him up. And he says, oh, no, for what you're doing, you don't want to do this headset. You want to do this one over here, which is way cheaper. I think it was like $30, $35. And I'm like, sir, you understand that I'm trying to buy a headset from your company. He goes, yeah, but those are for these other kinds of radios, and it's not going to do as well in the wind. Tell you what, buy it. On the purchase notes, say send it to Bob, and I'll fix it up for you so that the backside of it cancels the noise of the wind. I'm like, what? And sure enough, I did that. He took he received the mic. He made a modification on the capsule so that instead of having two firing forward, he took one, flipped it to the backside, and then he set up a canceling circuit so that the wind noise coming in from the back got canceled in the front, and I haven't used it much because it's for an HT, and I've been using my my 706 and my 705. But when I use that HT to go parachute mobile, that's the headset I use because it's perfectly set. Like Bob made it for that, and
Right.
he didn't charge me anything for it. It was no, just have it sent to me, and I'll have it, because he was working from home, I guess. It was during COVID, so like, how do you?
That's a one of a kind.
I mean, he had no reason. He had no reason to do that for anybody, and let alone me. And yet he did it. Super nice guy.
I was telling Richard, the trucking ham. I saw him in the chat. Hello, Richard. I was telling Richard when I first got my first Heil headset, the boom. It wasn't. I could hear, but there was no transmit audio coming out of the mic. Called them up. They sent me the RMA. Next day or so, they called me back apologizing. It just didn't have no mic condensed. There was nothing in there. It was just like a piece of plastic.
Oh, geez.
And they were so upset. Excuse me. Do you know they next day, and they didn't have to do that. I didn't want them to do it. Don't do it. It's fine. They didn't care. You're going to have it next day, and there was a number in there. Give them a call. I got the lady on the line. And then they put me on hold, and I, to this day, I believe I was talking to Mr. Heil. And just his mannerisms were there, and he walked me through the icon. He says, this is from 7300. Yes. He says, let's quickly go through your settings. You are to write them down, because if you ever put in the traditional icon hand microphone, you're going to want to go back to the factory default settings. The man took the time out of his busy day to talk to me, and then from that day forward, I've just continued just to buy Heil because of that customer service and the quality of the product. Listen, stuff happens, we get it, but they made it right. That's more important. They made it right.
Yeah.
And like I said, he got on the line, and to me, it was such an honor. I was like, this whole rock star struck of I'm talking to Bob Heil, Mr. Bob. I mean, it was just so cool. It was just so cool to talk to a legend, and everything. So, but I thought it was a very, very nice touch that they did everything like that and purple appropriate. That's dignity. I like that. That's like that. So hats off to them, for doing that stuff. But.
Yeah, phenomenal customer service from them. And still to
would you guys? Oh, absolutely! It continues in his honor. So, what else did you guys think? I'm waiting for some of the other shows to kind of start bringing up stuff. It's always nice to hear what other people's impressions were. The Tar Heel group, the Wireman group, the Quicksilver group. All the little. The smaller vendors promoting. It doesn't even have to be equipment. It could be services, software. Did you guys find, again, which holds true to what Dayton is? Dayton is supposed to be. Dayton promotes themselves as the #1 Hamfest in the world. I believe. If I have that correct, are those standards still there, Carlos?
I think so. Mind you, I've only been there 3 times, but. Every year I find something new to find that was there before. I just didn't have the time to look at before. This year I went with a list of vendors that I wanted to see specifically. Even if I had nothing to buy from them, I just wanted to see them and see what their offerings were because I've never, spent time with them and seeing what they have. The other thing is I have a video. I did one parachute mobile jump, and and the pilot was very kind. The pilot he found out what I was going to do. He said, I asked him, how close are we going to get to the fairgrounds? He said, want me to fly over there? I'm like, yes. Yes.
I might bail out, but okay.
Well, no, the thing is, I can't bail out there, man. I legitimately don't want to be kicked out of the show. And they've told me, do not land here. So, but I have video from above. The parking lot, the main parking lot was full. And I mean full. This was on Saturday. The backup parking lot was full.
Mm-hmm.
The backup parking lot was about halfway full. That's more vehicles than I saw from the year last year on either day. Wow. So that place was packed to the gills. So I'm telling you, man, when it comes to the number one, if you're talking about numbers, yeah, for sure. Like, there's no way that you can fit any more people anywhere else, right? You'd have to. I don't know what a Hamfest would have to do in order to try to beat, 30,000+ old men and a few women, playing radio.
And one thing I noticed, it was my first time to Dayton, and I really only had Saturday to be there. So there's a lot of things I missed, a lot of people I missed. But all the booths that I went by, there was nobody in any of the booths just standing around twirling their thumbs. They were constantly engaged with people.
Good. Excellent. Good.
It was people that I was wanting to speak to and say hello, like the Garrett of Repeater Book. They had the booth there. Yep. They tried it in Huntsville. Right. It was good enough. They said, we're doing Dayton. I seen him. I was like, oh, it's Garrett. I'm going to come back around to him. I never got back around, but he was engaged the whole time. And Ray from ICOM, just had to catch him. And look, this is the most awkward thing. I've sent Mark an email saying I'm sorry. I got to thinking about this. I'm just in the zone of seeing people that I recognize and be like, hey, as I had the chance, right? Dude, I'm in the men's bathroom, right? Waiting on turn to get to the stall. I see Mark from Huntsville, the organizer from Huntsville, come through. I'm like, hey, man. And he's like, hey.
You didn't offer to shake his hand when he's at the urinal, did you?
We fist bumped, but
no, they docked.
Come on, that's man law. That's man law. You don't do it.
Damn it, Carlos.
The next day, I was like, that was an awful place to stop someone, right? I'm sorry about that. What's up, Shaq and Greg?
He'll just remember that when he starts doing the media passes for Huntsville and get kicked off to the side.
Yeah. He asked me, he said, you signed up yet? So, yeah, I sent him an email. This is my official sign up, by the way. I'm sorry. I haven't heard back from him.
KD caught it, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, guys, you keep mentioning a few times in the show tonight. You mentioned the boneyard. Is that the tailgating area, or is that a term for something?
Yeah, that's the flea market. Yeah,
flea market. Yeah,
the flea market.
So it's funny. I spent right behind some of the buildings. There's a stretch of flea market, like 2 rows, I think, but a bunch of tables and stuff. And then there's some that wraps around the other side of the buildings and everything. And I see this fence line, right? But I see a lot of vehicles parked along the fence. So I'm thinking that's just another parking lot. And I'm sitting there talking to our friend Dennis, Denko at 86DM.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn around and I happen to see tops of tents. And I'm like, oh, dude, is that more boneyard area? He's like, that is the boneyard, dude. I was like, oh.
That's the real one. The other one's just overflow, man.
He said, you got a long way to go. So I just wander off and go walking. And anyway.
So our buddy Jim,
that's where I lost my wife.
On Saturday. The Saturday show I was watching for Talking Ham Radio, that was Jim in the Boneyard?
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
What I'm talking about? Okay. Because there was Jim.
I watched some of it on the way in, but...
which I presumed was the Boneyard, because Jim looked like he was having fun.
Jim, sitting down, not moving.
Yeah, somebody gifted them a spot this year and next year, which was very nice.
Jim was doing what he loved, sitting there, not having to walk around. Although it was outside, he managed. But
wow,
and I like the fact that I like the fact of what they did. T.O. finds an MFJ tuner. And then
tell her she ain't got a whisper.
Ape wants it. Tell her we said, where's ours?
Oh my God. Y'all stop it.
Look at the
look. She's like, She brought me a brownie and some strawberries fresh from the garden and
Dang.
some whiskey.
There you
Dang.
go.
I mean, I'm telling you,
I was gonna say, is that 12-year or?
I don't know what she put in here, but the youngest stuff I have in the house is 12, so it's either 12 or 18.
Okay.
That's a good woman.
That's 17.
You could tell the difference?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every whiskey has a different taste. So that is Kirkland's 17. So
Okay.
Costco has a single malt that is 17 years old, and it is really good and honestly not expensive. I think I paid like $60 for the bottle of 17-year-old.
Okay. So stop
is
at
not
Costco
bad.
on my way to Huntsville. Got it.
I mean, if they have it, right? Because it's one of those things where they don't have it all the time. So it's they have a 12-year, they have a blend. They have a 12 and they have a 17, and I like the 17. The 12 is okay, but yeah, it's
I see how it is. You brought the 12-year to Huntsville last year, so okay.
mm,
I see where I rate on that.
if tell you what, if they have 17 and in my local store anytime soon, I'll buy an extra bottle. I'm bringing it to Huntsville.
There you go.
Good man.
So what I was saying before, so Jim is sitting there, and you're telling me that's what Jim does best, okay? And they got their card hard antennas at a great price. I hope they sold out. But T.O. finds a tuner. Ape wants it. Ape brings it back. Now Jim wants it. T.O. finds another one, and I thought it was the greatest shenanigans because that's how like a lot of my local friends and I rock and roll. Hey, you got that? I want that one. You go get another, and then we get another one. Then we end up like
I got to
a
experience
Secret Santa. You start swapping things. You know,
I got to watch something kind of like that with T.O. and Jim live in person. It was great.
Oh Lord.
Jim was so pleased.
I kept saying,
I think it's payback for something. You know, I don't. So Jim put a CB in his truck, but Jim had
Yes.
a fiberglass antenna, right? So he was being encouraged to get something better, and it was the Siro, SIRO, I believe. Anyway,
Sicario.
yeah, sure, okay, yeah. Well, lo and behold, T.O. found him one and said, you know, he was told that's the one he needs. Yep, and there you go. You can't find an adapter for it, or they couldn't. They searched the boneyard, they searched online. He's got the real.
But what happened to the Wilson? Hold on, Joe. Excuse me for 1 minute. I've always been believed, and I'm a witness. I've always liked the Wilson K40s, whether it's the fiberglass or the steel whips. There's a new CB company out there that I'm not aware of that's selling some.
New. It was what is it, Jim? It's Italian or something like that.
I was gonna say you got to talk to Sideboom on that. He's gonna be
Okay. I'd just be curious. I would be curious.
So they end up taking it to some booth or to somebody, and they're like, we don't know how to help you. I suggest when you get home to find a machine shop and have it rethreaded.
Oh damn!
I was like,
that would probably be the easiest thing to do. Now you can definitely buy a coupler. You can buy a mount, but
yeah, but he would. I don't know. That was bless his heart. The look at the feet.
Ape found an adapter. I thought Ape wasn't going this year.
He didn't. He was back home online searching.
Oh,
yeah, he dug one up for him. But still, he was kind of
from NMO to
Jim was still kind of in the same boat I was with the radio I wanted, right? So
the affiliate link on Amazon.
I got the radio, but I couldn't use it going home because I don't have it yet, right? I just purchased it. Well, Jim got the antenna he was told he needed, but he couldn't use it on the way home because he had no adapter for it.
Patience.
He's saying now, problem already solved. So good, Jim. I hope you know what I wanted to do when I was watching them, Joe. I'm watching them on the show, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have been there, and not tell anybody. And I would have snuck up, maybe just pretending I'm looking at something, because I don't know if Jim would recognize me in person. You just kind of like, hey, what's that antenna for? Or maybe sneak up behind them and say something. Or I don't know. It would have been fun just to play a joke on a friend. But I have a feeling he could do the same thing to me too, because I found looking at Jim on Saturday, he looks different than what I see on Monday nights from him, because he's outside and everything else. And I'm sure the heat has something to do with how that goes. We all look a little different. But
guess who I met at the flagpole meetup Saturday? Is that?
Oh, come on! Don't say guess. How can I? Oh,
I ain't gonna make you.
Do I know? Do I know this guy?
Yeah,
man or woman? Man or woman?
It's a fella in the chat that really has some great lines, comebacks, jokes.
Jody?
Yes,
Jody.
there.
Get out of here, really?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was starstruck, dude. I was like, I didn't know what to say to him. Like,
yes,
shake his hand and say, hey.
Yes.
And I was just waiting for the punchline, right? I was like, oh God, we're in public.
Did you get him? We need Jody. Is he in here tonight? I'm not sure if I saw him.
Yeah.
We got to get him on here. We have got to get him on this show. And I don't want to. He better not come in with no bag over his face or a pillowcase with the eyeballs cut out. I want to see his mug and I want to hear him. And he better be. I know he will be. He's got that quick wit. He's like Carlos. He's like Scout 75. He's like Shaq and Greg, but Shaq and Greg. I love Shaq and Greg, but he's like me
clean. Shaq and Greg.
Greg and Norm was walking around.
Oh Lord!
They were the first, one of the first ones I saw. But yeah, it was cool. Got to meet. Hang on. So Carlos was a part of this. I don't know if this will.
I'm being implicated in something.
No. See, I got this freaking broke lens.
Hang on, I can solo you.
Try it.
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
David and Annabelle and Vern and Renee.
Hotel India 8 Delta.
Yeah,
Yes.
David.
Yeah.
When
David
he told me,
I love working them. Love working them on post.
They're in California activating this today and tomorrow, I think.
When he told me who he was, man, I was like, crap, dude, you're in my logbook a lot. He's always on the radio. And,
hang on.
You know who freaked me out last night?
Uber Geek says there's a bunch of pictures of me on Twitter. I don't know of them. Somebody tag me on them. I want to see them.
Carlos.
So last night, the Alaska boy, Jeremy, who was it? Jeremy.
I don't think we can show that picture.
The Alaska boys.
I mean, at least Shane's was from like.
I forget the other guys.
Right?
They were in Ohio last night playing POTA before they fly back home, and I thought my ham alert was messed up. I'm like, what is KL7EC doing in Ohio? He's supposed to be in AK Alaska. Mm-hmm. I ended up working them real quick. There was 3 ops and they were working the park. I had fun working them on 40 last night, but they made the trip. I saw them the day made the trip. Sounds like there was a great group of people. Whether you guys met everybody at the flagpole, it sounds like there's a great group of people. So,
like I said, there was so many people I didn't get to see that I knew was there. I just never ran into them. And, but like running into Hotel India 8 Delta, like I just met one of my DX contacts, right? That was wild to me.
Starstruck. I get it. Absolutely. I would be starstruck with David and his wife out.
Good evening.
I love working them. Yeah. Hey, Chuck's here.
Chuck.
But yeah, so Dayton is already on the list for next year. So,
Joe, what do you want to do next year? Get up there Thursday, you think, just to give yourself a?
You need to come early, man. You need to. As a matter of fact, what you need to do is you need to come on Wednesday, so you can spend Thursday recovering at the Air Force Museum. I'm not joking. The Air Force Museum.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We heard a lot about that.
Sunday and then leave Sunday morning. That way you have an easier time driving home.
Yeah.
I think Kyle was also saying that too. Yeah, Kyle was really saying that between the VOA and the Air Force Museum.
We ain't even. I don't know if we even got out of the township of Dayton yet, or very far from Xenia. And Noelle was already on her phone looking at Airbnbs, and we were discussing what days to be there next
You
time.
got a good woman, dude.
I say you
Get that woman some chocolates. Get that woman a spa day. Get her something, dude. Because you got a good
buy
one. If
her
she's
a
looking,
Gucci bag.
if the hell with
diamond.
Gucci,
You know what
Diamonds.
she asked for tonight?
What's that?
She wants like
Macro.
a baby goat, a lamb,
Hell yeah, I
some
would.
ducks.
get them for her, dude. If she's looking for Airbnbs for next year already for you, she cares that you're having a good time. That doesn't come very often, man.
She has a
Get
great
that.
time. Listen, let me tell you something. I think she has a better time than I do because, like, she's just there to socialize. And I'm there to, I'm trying to remember to actually get some video, this and that, and actually put something together to share. But she's just enjoying it the whole time. She's not worried about a thing. We hadn't been there 30 minutes. And after being outside for a few minutes, she walks away and then comes back with an LDG hat. She's like, look at my new hat. And I'm like, where'd you get that? She said, I went up to Gigaparts and told Jason that I needed a hat. And he sent me down there to LDG guys. And so Sunday when we come in and we made a little loop, we met Carlos and took some pictures and stuff. And we were leaving back out through the Gigaparts booth. The LDG guys, all 4 or 5 of them were standing there. They don't start talking to me. They start talking to her. Like, hey, and they're just like they are friends all weekend or something.
Well,
hey, how are y'all doing?
She's the one that went and engaged them and got a hat from them, right?
That's right.
You want the attention. You got to go talk to them.
Yeah.
You got to go buy a tuner. You got to go buy a tuner.
She said, I need a hat.
Maybe
So
you'll get a hat.
So my scalp don't get sunburnt. So.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm telling you, man, get that woman a spa day or something. 'Cause that's a keeper. How long have you been married?
16 years.
Oh, good, man. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere, but still get her a spa day. get her a spa day.
Wait for her to get a license.
No,
What
that's
if she got
not
a
gonna
license?
happen.
Really?
That's not gonna happen.
How do you figure? How come?
Well, it hadn't in 16 years. She has no interest. She just loves to come see y'all that can make it to the events and hang out. And I don't press her. She puts up with the hobby.
Don't discount the influence of Renee. I'm telling you.
This is true. Well,
Okay,
I was
I
trying
didn't
to
say
convince
it was
her to jump,
impossible, right? It's not going to happen easily.
I wonder if we can get in an airplane with Carlos at Huntsville.
That's what
She said. I asked her. She said absolutely not.
No.
But remember, Renee wasn't so keen on until she was kind of. Look, let's be fair about this. Renee was bullied into jumping.
Yes, she was.
Renee was dared into jumping. All right. She happened to, she happened to have stepped in it by saying out loud, "Oh, I'd do it for you," to Vern, and then from then on, she was dared to jump.
Money hit the table immediately.
It was like, bam. there were at least 4 tandems worth of money on the table within 10 freaking seconds, man. She was dared to jump. Now, that said, she fell in love with it, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, she did tunnel time today.
Nope.
And, I watched the videos. She is doing good. She's going to come ready to jump and ready to fly in a month. And I look forward to it, man. I love people that are getting their licenses that are that motivated, because there's people that come to get their license. They're like, okay, whatever. And then there's a few.
What do I got to do today? What do I have to do? Right?
Exactly. What do you get to do? Not only that, she is coming hyped up. She's ready for this. I love students like that.
Good.
They're easier to teach, man. They're motivated. They already know the material. All you have to do with them is verify that they're ready to go, and you put them in the sky and let's go. And now that she's done tunnel time, her first 10 jumps are going to be cake. I'm telling you, she's going to be in the sky going, I don't get the big deal. I don't get what's so hard about this, because she's done tunnel time.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, man. I am so looking forward to a month from now when I get to put her on her first solo jump.
Well, and
That's gonna be
didn't
cool.
she just hit something big with trivia through Chicagoland?
I wouldn't say big, but she
I mean,
certainly
she
shook some.
smoked it.
She certainly shook some heads.
Yeah.
Right, because
Absolutely.
the licensed skydivers can't get a 50 out of 50, and she just smoked it.
Mhm.
Right, just not only she just dropped the mic on them, right, right, and she doesn't even have a license yet. So she's gonna get a free jump out of it, a free regular jump, right, a licensed jump, which is I think $33 this year. So it's not big, but it's certainly not nothing. And the best part about it is she just dropped the mic on a bunch of licensed skydivers.
Yeah, hey, the bragging rights are big.
She just like and walked away. Just it's awesome, dude. I saw that. I was just like, this is beautiful. Look, I've taken that quiz before, and I can get a 47 to a 49. I've never scored a 50. The clock always gets me. Right? Because it's timed. If you don't answer within a certain amount of time, you missed. It's not like an amateur radio test where there's no time. There's time. You have a very small window of time to pick an answer and go to the next one.
Wow.
And Frank is right. Renee is a smart woman. You know, HKMP5S says, please elaborate on that. Elaborate on what, please? Be a little more specific.
The trivia. What's the basis behind the trivia?
All right. So one of our safety and training advisors, I'm one of them. There's 3 of us at the drop zone. He's a coder, right? So he wrote a web page. See, the clock is wicked. He wrote a page where it takes 50 questions out of like a pool of like 290, I think it is.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay.
And they're all in the Skydivers Information Manual, SIM. That is knowledge, right? Like, these are questions that you are asked when you take every test. Well, not every test. Like when you take your A license test, you're going to have this pool of questions. When you take your B license test, this pool of questions. Just like in amateur radio tech, general X, right? All the way to the D license. And these questions are not easy. Like I have a good chunk of the sim memorized because I've read it so many stinging times, and even I have to go. Oh, damn it! The time ran out. Shit. So anyhow, he put a webpage together that does a random drawing of those questions, and then there's a leaderboard, right? And if you complete the quiz, the person that scores 50 out of 50 every month gets 1 free jump. Right? It's not easy by any means. Trust me. I've been in the sport for 13 years now, and I have that sim like fairly well dialed in. Okay, and I still can't score a 50. The clock always gets me. The
Carlos,
fact
do you think is it excuse me for 1 second? Is it set up because when you are skydiving, again, I haven't done it, so you tell me. You need to make appropriate decisions from the ground when you're in the plane, for when you jump, while you're free, while you're going down, whatever that term is, to when you land. You need to make decisions, and sometimes decisions may not be clear cut. You may have to change based upon a scenario. Is that helping you subliminally with the testing with the clock? Do you think that helps train your brain? Here's my situation. Here's my answer. Here's my situation. Here's my answer. And because in the real world of this, you don't have time.
That's exactly what it is, right? It's you got to make a decision now. You don't have time to lollygag about this. You have to have the answers memorized. You have to know what the answer is, and you need to execute on it now because you don't have time, right? Altitude is decreasing exceedingly fast, and every second that you spend not doing the right thing is 1 less second of life you have. Okay, right? When something goes bad, it goes bad. It's just the fact that she's able to nail 50 out of 50. It's
That's awesome,
man. It's just it shows me, and I know her, right? It shows me that she's absolutely dedicated to this, and I knew that already. Like she's been hitting the books for months now, right? Renee's going to be the easiest student I take through the program because she's.
Is it a gender thing, Carlos? Carlos, is it a gender? Do you find women? Because I have seen that in a few of my professions and few of the things that I have done. I have find that women are so much better at certain things than us, and I'm not sure, and I don't know why they are, but regardless, they are, and I support it. I support. I don't
know if it's a gender thing, but it's definitely an ego thing, right? The thing is that most of us guys have an ego, the size of a boulder, and most women are like, "What the hell's an ego? What are you talking about?"
Correct.
I know what I know, and I don't know. I know what I don't know, and let's just figure it out, right? If there are guys that show up to the drop zone with no ego or very little ego, and it makes, if you leave your ego at the door, even when you have a license, like when I get to the drop zone, I leave my ego at the door. I have an ego, the size of a boulder, but when I get to the drop zone, I have to just leave it at the gate because it's the only way I'm going to be able to actually execute and learn. And I've had students go, "What do you mean learn?" I'm like, "Learn. Like I learned stuff from you." If I'm not willing to learn from a student, then I'm shutting out a massive amount of possibility out there, man. So if I leave the ego at the door, now the problem is us guys leaving the damn ego at the door, right? Where women have no ego anyways. They realize that we're just in, we're in this big spinning rock and we just got to get through, right? So I don't know if it's a gender thing. I think it's more of an ego thing, but it's certainly easier for women to leave the ego at the door than it is for men. But yeah, man, teaching a student like that I already know she's gonna nail this. I watched the videos of her progression today at the tunnel, and the progression from the first session to the last session is just like a hockey stick, man. It's great to see. No doubt the folks at Paraclete have fantastic instructors, right? Paraclete isn't Paraclete, and it doesn't have the reputation it has for nothing. They are, they're next to Fort Bragg, whatever it's called today. I don't know what it's called today, but
Fort Liberty.
I still call it Liberty. Fort Bragg.
Yeah, it's still Bragg. Because, I don't care.
It's Vietnam. Let's be real.
That's right.
They train the folks in the compound that we shall not talk about. To train those folks, you have to have the right mentality. You have to have the right instructors. You can't lollygag. You can't lower the standards. So these are the same folks that are working the tunnel at Paraclete. So today she got some killer instruction.
Good.
Right?
Good.
Yep. Katie says, progression like a hockey stick. Are you really an American? I'm not an American. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm a Rican, okay? I happen to live in the United States now, but I'm an immigrant. I happen to have a natural-born citizenship, but that doesn't mean that I'm not an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. But I sidetracked us. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yes.
First Dayton. Overall impression, 1 out of 10. What do you rank it?
He's going back next year, so I mean.
Well, I don't know. I kind of got different ratings for different things.
Okay, well, give us ratings.
The show itself and the people that put it on, 10 out of 10. As large as that thing was, it seemed so organized and flowing. Like,
no kidding. Excellent. Good.
Even all the volunteers that I saw, nobody was like running and stressing the freak out. Like they had enough people to do what needed to be done in an orderly fashion, right? Everybody was just, it was from what I saw.
That's good leadership. That's good leadership and experience.
Great
there
leadership.
you go.
Yep.
Flea market area, 9.5, because the 0.5 was the guy that was trying to sell me a radio for too much when it was discontinued, and I could have spent a little bit. I could have spent $39 more than what he was asking for that one for the current version, brand new. Sucker.
He had a treasure. He had a treasure. You know that.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like dehydrating in the boneyard, and I saw this radio. Like, I've been thinking about putting a little crossband in the shack, just hooking it up, leaving it, and using HT in my recliner, right, to talk simplex to the guys. And I saw the radio, and I knew it was a crossbander, older icon. And so I was like, how much you want for it? And he told me, I'm asking $300 for it. And he said, but I'm taking any offer. Just throw me something. I said, all right, just remember, you left this wide open. And we're grown men, so if you, we're grown men, if you get insulted by this, remember, you opened it up. I said, $150.
That's 50 more than I would have.
He said, I did leave it open. I said, yeah. So then he wanted to counter offer, and I was like, no. But I went back and forth because I was just enjoying the shade of his tent so much. I was like, all right. So, and it finally come to the point to where just we was telling jokes and having a good conversation. He already was aware that I wasn't gonna probably purchase it, this and that. Here comes Mike. Oh, ham radio tube. The old salesman in his blood finds out that I've been going back and forth with this guy. And in like 30 seconds, he's got the guy to agree to like $225 or something. And he's like, there you go.
Still too much.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, man. You should talk to your buyer before you negotiate a price, whether your buyer really wants that or not, because he don't want it. I'm just using his shade. But no, anyway.
Did you go to Cigar Tent?
No, I never saw that. I heard about it.
Okay.
But overall,
You caught my attention.
Everything about the show, I thought, I only really had one full day there, but the show I felt like was great, flowed good, organized from what I saw. Just vendors, major vendors, please bring more stock. Hey, we'll throw some super chats together and donate some gas, some fuel money. Mm-hmm. But all the smaller vendors was overflowing, even on Sunday morning. Day 3, they're still got stock, and your vendors run out of on-hand stock day 1 before it's even over. Oof. That was my only gripe, right? So
that's interesting.
We were missing one vendor that I know of, and I'm not talking about MFJ. I'm talking about R&L Electronics, and I suspect that if R&L had been there, you would have gotten your 500 from them then and there. Roger is really good about bringing tons of stock. Tons of it.
Do you guys feel that there is a stigma that's not correct, that the big guys are going to give you a better price?
No, because...
So then what is it then? Why... And I know we have our preferences of our. Listen, I know we all. It's like our vehicles. You put the 4 of us. We could all say why I like my vehicle, why I would go to this one dealership again. But when you think about something like at the Hamfest, if you can't get it here, but it's $10 here, and I can get it and walk out with the box right.
How about this? I'll give you the perspective of someone that I was with this weekend. We were hanging out, and this person bought some stuff, and they bought some stuff only from the major vendors. And I asked him, I said, why? He said, because I know that I'm going to get after the sale support.
Okay.
Right. So that was his logic behind it. I don't think he needs it, but I understand his logic. I would rather buy from RNL. I would rather buy from Chat. And that's nothing against the big guys, right? The big guys are great because they always have stock. But I like supporting the smaller folks because generally I get a better deal there. Without question, when I'm looking at prices, just strictly prices, the majority of the time I'm going to get a better deal at RNL.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but the majority of the time. I own a small business. I like rooting for the small business owner. And again, nothing against the big guys because I've bought plenty of stuff from all of them. But
they've all gotten your money.
Yes, they've all gotten my money.
Yeah.
All of them. I think about the only big company that I haven't bought from is Main Trading Company, MTC. It's about the only one I haven't bought directly from. And they have the amp that I want to get, so
there you go.
it won't be long before they get my money.
Deep.
I saw that show. Jason had him on. Yeah.
Jeff is asking if Chat Radio was up there. Yes, Chat Radio was up there, and they had a couple of booths put together. They had a really good selection. I bought an antenna and a mount from them. So, yeah.
Can I ask this question? And the evening activities, let's say from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh boy, Joe.
No comment.
First of all, I'm looking at Joe. I'm looking at Carlos, and Steve is like, because both of your poker faces.
Let me tell you, there was a group who shall go nameless that shut down the Hope Hotel at 5 a.m. on Sunday.
Good God.
And don't tell me they had to be up early on Sunday morning if you follow me.
They did because well, you got to fly home or you got to drive home. And I was just like, I was like,
okay, I get it. You
I'm
may
too
want to
old.
sleep on the plane, but you can't sleep on the highway. I mean, there has to.
Oh man, alive! I just couldn't believe. There's a group that left like at 3, another group that left like at 4 and whatnot, but there was another group that stayed till 5. And basically, my understanding is that at 5, someone told them, "You gotta go."
We're done.
At 5 a.m., you know what you say? I've been here this long.
Where's breakfast?
Where's breakfast? Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking Bloody Marys either. Let's go.
Why
A little
not?
bit of egg.
Mimosas.
Mimosas.
But you know what? In my book, more power to them.
Absolutely.
I'm at a point in time where I'm like, no, that hurts.
Yeah.
A, that hurts, and B, I'm planning on jumping tomorrow. I got to get sleep. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
when I was, asked about going to the Hope, I was like, I know that doesn't end well. I know that ends up in the early morning hours, and I got to get some sleep if I'm going to jump tomorrow morning.
I didn't know anything about it because I've never been, but I quickly heard about 2 or 3 stories, and one of them included somebody losing their occupation at one time in the past. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to bed. That's the only place I'm going.
Adam says, "Go hard, then go home." Adam has that old college try.
Oh.
I'm too old for that, man. It hurts.
Wait, this is the same guy that an easy soda is a 7-pointer.
Yeah, I know. So I know.
I mean, let's look at the source there.
See, it's all about perspective.
So what you guys think? So Thursday was what? Just something casual, steak dinner, a couple beers, because we want to get there early on Friday.
Thursday's the vendor night for 4 days in May, and I think everybody grabbed something nearby. Bill and I went to Thai. There's a Thai place across the way from the hotel at 4 days in May, and I don't mind telling you that it is some of the best Thai I've ever had. And one of my really good friends grew up in Thailand, and he cooks Thai, man, and his wife cooks Thai. And this Thai place is just delicious. So if there's a line next year, I understand. I brought it on myself, that one, but truly worth eating if you enjoy Thai food. So after that, we went to the 4 Days in May vendor night, where I thankfully left without spending $1. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
But you may have lost your shirt.
That was later that night.
We're talking literally, right?
Oh, you haven't seen my OnlyHams profile picture?
No, you can.
You can just go. You just.
Oh, that's what I saw that picture.
If
I
you
saw
want to
that
look
picture
at
last week.
That's all you get.
I saw that picture last week because of Steve. Steve posted it in our private little area. I went, oh.
Steve wasn't there. How'd he do it?
No, Joe posted it.
Steve says, I had to see it. You got to see it.
Right, that was on the other channel. That's right. That was on the other one.
I sent it to the Clubhouse boys, and I said, Xenia's getting a little weird.
Getting sad.
Let me tell you, hey, Joe. So I was stuck on all these double shifts in a row, and I was getting like no sleep. And you know it is when you work a double, you don't eat right, nothing goes right. You're not eating, you're not sleeping. When I saw that picture, and our place got turned upside down, but when I saw that picture, I'm like, oh my god, nothing. I mean, whatever. At this point, whatever. Thank you, Vern, for $10. There you go.
I played the fifth, sir. I played the fifth.
Ooh.
Where's my lawyer? Hang on.
No lawyer wants to take that case. You're on your own. And that was Thursday night, or was that Friday night? That was
I think
Thursday.
He got the squeaky left.
He called that one.
Read between the lines, sir. Read between the lines.
Vern, you are good. Vern's good. Vern's good. We could pick you. Vern could pick you out of the lineup easy.
Oh, too funny.
That picture was posted to us on Friday.
Okay. So that was Friday night then. I don't know what I did for. Let's see. Wednesday night we got tacos. Friday night we did 4 Days in May vendor night. Friday night, the heck did we do Friday night?
That much alcohol, huh?
Just look. I know it doesn't look it, but there's a lot of gray here.
Went to the frat house for a little bit Friday night because I was going to leave from there, go to TO's and the Coffee and Ham Radios guys, and then go back and see Vern and Renee. And this was wild, dude. Like, Joe Brett not only doesn't get out of Mississippi much, he sure in the hell doesn't cross the time zones very often. We're sitting there on the back porch, and I'm like, sun's still shining. I turn my phone on. It says 9:30. I said, the hell? I turn my watch on. It says 9:30. I grab my wife's phone. It says 9:30. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's daylight.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that in Mississippi. 9:30 is dark. No matter what season you're in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do I ask then, how was Saturday night?
It was a troll pub.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the Troll Pub lost me as a customer. Whether they ever plan another event there or not, I'm not going back.
Why is that?
The service was 100% garbage.
Let's say Joe Brett yelled extremely loud
The
come take my food order.
The best service I got that on Saturday night was from someone that doesn't work at the Troll Pub. I'm not gonna incriminate anybody, but the people that know.
Wow.
You know who takes care of
Well,
folks.
they had to pour you a beer. That person had to go and pour you a beer.
More
Yes.
than just him.
More than just me. That person has a bartender's license in Ohio and just went behind the bar and took care of business.
They
So do
wasn't
you
the only
think-
one because one of them didn't have a license. I know.
All right. So do you
And
think the place
they were
was
like,
just understaffed? They just couldn't anticipate
Joe,
what was.
Joe, play along. Nobody talks, everybody walks. Okay.
They just handed the glass to him, right? So
yes.
yes.
That's all it was.
The only thing
So
I will say in credit of that is, to my experience, even after I yelled where the whole freaking building and outdoor area could hear me probably to come take my freaking food order, I'm hungry. Which did work. They got my attention, and it may have been spit in. I don't know, but I
Kinda
ate.
like the
They used the
spinach dip?
sultry sounds. You mean the sultry
But-
sounds in Mississippi just wasn't
Yeah.
good enough?
Even when we went to tab out and leave, I never seen any of the staff get like freaking. I mean, they were a little flustered because they were not ready, but they wasn't like pissy with anybody, right?
But they brought that shit on
they
themselves,
knew.
okay?
Well, I mean,
Kyle
yeah, I'm
Reese-
just saying.
Kyle called well ahead of time and reserved
yeah.
it.
Months.
Last year they had 3 people on our side of the bar alone tending the bar, let alone the other side. The other side had other people. This year they had one poor bastard, and that poor guy couldn't find his ass to save his life that night because he had 15,000 orders in one hand. I don't know what to do.
Oof.
So I'm not
Yeah.
going back. If we ever do an event there again, y'all have fun. I'm going to go somewhere else.
See, maybe he needs to take that sim book test and learn how to. Let's go.
You know, how do they not know what to expect? 45, I don't know, man. Shane, they remember when Kyle called to reserve the place. They remembered our group. They remember that they made lots of money. They were like, "Yeah, you don't even have to pay the deposit because we know we're going to clear our minimums."
Right, that was the impression I got from Kyle too.
Right.
Yeah, Kyle's statements. Right.
So if you know the group that's coming, and you did it right last year, why in the hell did you not do it right this year?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Pinball machines, I'm in. Axes, not so much. Look, here's the thing. Axes while I'm sober and everybody else is sober, fine. Axes when everybody's drinking, someone's gonna get hurt. And I don't want to be it.
Yeah.
Carlos, were you at Huntsville
Oh yeah,
for the Axis?
no, I don't
Oh.
do. I don't do axes and drinking, man. I just don't.
I went up there and changed my mind quickly.
We had fun.
Oh, I don't doubt that you had fun. Someone's gonna get hurt.
When you go through
Yeah.
danger and still talk about it afterwards, yeah,
Mhm.
you can say it was fun. If you
I was
lost
just-
your toe, you wouldn't say it was fun.
No.
And I shouldn't have done that while drinking.
I still have all 10 toes. But
Well,
Wow.
what do you do? Stuff happens. I don't know. Maybe some people booked off. Again, the owner's not here or the manager's not here to defend themselves. But I can understand what you guys say. When you book something, there's an expectation, and especially from a past year, you know,
Mhm.
you also got to look at. You're going to fill this place up, and these guys are going to spend a lot of money.
oh yeah,
These guys are going to spend a lot of money between food, booze,
Yeah.
tips.
Like Carlos said, if they remembered when Kyle called and they remembered the group and everything, that should have been a clue. Then they should have been prepared.
yeah.
Yeah, even if you have to pay extra for your staff that night, you're gonna make it up if
Oh.
especially the service is good, right?
Key.
But-
That's the key right there.
But I'm going to stick to the credit of the character of the staff that I experienced. Because, you know, some of them like get pissed off, throw the notebook down and walk out with a crowd like that, hooting and hollering and getting upset because they ain't got food and drinks. But they didn't.
Yep.
So,
I was gonna say, I know in Orlando, the girl that we had at Ale House was phenomenal, and we went back to her 2 nights in a row. and she was just on point. She was busy as hell the second night and still took good care of us. She knew what to do.
There you go.
And I know everybody tipped her well. So
There was one time Mama Noel was getting up serving food and getting the old dishes and stuff.
I was going to say
she worked in a restaurant before. I didn't see that on the menu, but
okay.
But yeah, I was like, somebody come up to me and was like, "What is your wife doing?" I'm like, "What she does anytime she sees restaurant staff struggling, she gets up and helps. She can't help it."
Mm. Yeah,
Guys, we're almost 2 hours. We are like 1 hour and 53 minutes into this thing, and
yeah.
I think it's about time to start calling last call here. And Carlos, why don't you take it? We appreciate you coming on board, and it's always fun to have you. It's always fun to have Carlos.
You know, it's always fun to be here. And, you know, I'm getting messages on the side going, "Are you part of the crew now?" I'm like, "No, I was just invited, you know, and I appreciate being invited." Look, I dropped 2 videos today, one of which matters really a lot to me. Did an interview with a teacher from the Teachers Institute that went through Teachers Institute for ARL. Go watch it, please. Go watch it. I need to watch hours, 1. And 2, it actually has a really good message in it. Watch it, share it, propagate it, donate to the Teachers Institute. When I say force multiplier, I mean it. And if you don't know what a force multiplier is, hit me up. I'll send you the definition. But the Teachers Institute is a force multiplier, and as amateurs, we need to support this. Mm-hmm. It's not that we should; it's that we need to support this. Okay. I hope to have a bunch more contact from Dayton coming up. I had to talk to the wife. I'm going to see if I can do a live stream on Thursday with my personal take on the whole thing, but we'll see. But other than that, you know, I'll do the parachute mobile jump soon, and then I'll have a couple other videos that I got to put together and blah, 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 blah. I hope everybody had fun at Dayton, and if not, then you did it wrong. And we lost Izzo.
At least he didn't hit the wrong button.
If you didn't make it this year, come next year. It's always a blast. You got to come to this thing. It's fun. That's my soapbox. I'll get off of it now. Go watch the video. I need to watch ours.
So
Steve,
I know what I'm doing on my way to DC Thursday.
It's only 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll do that tomorrow at work then.
Well, you know, watch it multiple times.
Yeah. Set it up on repeat on multiple devices. Yeah. So I'm actually leaving here Thursday after work and headed to DC. Rolling to remember. I'm going to be up there early Friday. I know of a 7 for park. It's 6 trails and a wildlife management area from one spot. If I'm not near Ham Alerts, I need to be. I'll probably be calling Whiskey 2 HRC. So, but I know I'll be throwing my call out. I am going to do some FT8 because one of my guys asked me if I do FT8. So hopefully the ATOS will take it from the 857 because that is hard mounted in the truck with a digi-rig. So ready to rock and roll. We will get that on the air. Nice. I might actually live stream it too. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. It's right there on the GW.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
No,
it would be.
It's right there on the GW Parkway. So I'll drop the trailer with the bike at the hotel, run over there, throw up the live stream, activate. And then, Friday we have Blessing of the Bikes. Saturday we'll be doing a thing for the Gold Star Mothers at the Women's and Service Memorial. And then Sunday is the ride. and then home on Monday. But Izzo's back.
Yes, he's back.
Major
Back
internet
again.
failure.
Izzo's back.
My neighbor, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My neighbor was looking at me like, "Did you lose internet too?" Yes.
Let's say, Izzo, are you in the garage tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Tore down the Eskimo tent. Everything got washed out, put away. The whole deck got scrubbed down. Outdoor rugs got scrubbed down. Tomorrow night we'll be pulling out the patio furniture and tiki candles, and we'll for the next 6 months we'll be doing the summer thing. So between the garage and the back deck is where I'll be. So
Good.
we're at the end of the show, right? So
Yeah,
I'm here to
I
say
didn't see the
goodbye.
garage door.
Yeah,
So.
no, I got it over here. Although I have had this raccoon that comes out. This thing is probably got to be 30, 40 pounds. I'll
That's
share a
good.
picture later. That's what I was asking the other night, because this thing he's a big boy. He looks at me, I look at him. He climbs a tree. He looks at me, and I don't know why he's looking at me. What is so impressive about this? I don't know. I don't know. I looked at him last night. And I said, "You want to have a cigar with me?" I mean, I don't care. We're just, but something. I got a pew pew that's going to take you out. And according to Google, your lifespan in the environment is only 3 years. So if you're on 3 years, and if you do anything stupid between a shovel and a pew pew, there's some. I'm going to win. You're not going to win. So
Just make sure you shut off the camera and the microphone first.
No, oh well, yeah, that. But video content would be excellent to see thing just like, boom, hit you right now. That would be great. Just lock onto your chest, knock you out of the chair.
If it came
Just
out of
watching
nowhere,
y'all. Yeah, just watching Izzo and the raccoon rolling around on the floor in the background fighting.
like Peter and the chicken.
No, I don't want you to get hurt or anything, but the views would be great.
You get a lot of replay on on team replay. Let me tell you.
that raccoon better not be messing with my internet. I'll tell you right now. If
See
he's
there?
chewing on that wire, I'm going to chew on his ass. I'm going to cook him. I got a Memorial Day barbecue, and guess what?
It did take him out like a
We'll
mark.
serve him up. We'll serve him up next to the hot dogs, hamburgers, and the chicken wings. I'll tell you that right now. So
There you go.
anyway, I got nothing else really going on. I got some things going on. I got a whole bunch of days off. Planning on playing some radio. So I blew out my back, but nothing. Hopefully that's some Motrin will for next day or so.
I keep telling you that pole inside of your house is not for that.
I fell on it.
Oh. Oh.
And he cut out. He cut out at just the right time.
Are we still live?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm just
Joe Brett, what do you got, bud?
Man, I've got some Dayton experience video to put together and try to make sense out of. I usually do pretty good at winging it. Besides that, I'm waiting on my FTM 500 to come in, and I have also got a brand new camera coming in that I've been wanting for years. I finally just done it, and
Nice.
so it's going to bring some interesting new little perspectives and angles and stuff. And it's going to be here in time for a kayaking trip we're taking this coming up weekend, so
excellent.
that'll be fun. Anyway, the usual. Usually here on Tuesday nights, this was wild. I thought I was going to have to call y'all guys and say, good luck, I'm not going to be able to make it. My son sends me a text message. He said, are you freaking kidding me? The power's going to be out till tomorrow? I was like, I've got no idea what you're talking about. Then he sends me a picture of the letter the power company put on the door. And it said power was going to be out starting at 1 p.m. till 11 a.m. for a planned outage while they do some repairs. I was like, holy crap, that's a long time, right?
Yeah.
That is a very long time.
Yeah. But so then I called my neighbors and they're like, because I was finna call, like, y'all got to come up with something else, right? But they got it mixed up on the paper. It's supposed to be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
PM. Okay.
Yeah, so not near as bad as I thought. But other than that, we try to be here Tuesday nights and put together something for fun to share.
Yep.
This is K5YVY.
All right.
Everybody,
I'm
that's not how he asked for his drink and his dinner. That's
No.
not how he said it. That's not how he said it.
Nope.
All right. Awkward wave, everybody. 73. We'll see
Bye,
you
guys.
next
Thank
Tuesday.
you.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye.
You ain't got no pictures. You ain't got no video. You ain't got nothing on me.
I'm hungry. Can I get some food?